Okay, so KRONOVI, the Mountain, just made his Collegiate Rocket League debut, and it was against a school that I can almost guarantee you've never heard of unless you follow my show matches or my professional journey in general. As this is Kennesaw State versus Huntingdon College, which is a Division III school in Montgomery, Alabama. I worked there all of last year as an assistant director and had Rocket League coach, had a broadcast, stuff like that, before leaving to be talent full-time. And this isn't me making a video about them because I'm biased in any way, but because it's insane that KRONOVI made his Collegiate Rocket League debut. It still feels weird saying that. So I've gotten the replays, gotten my filthy hands on them, and I want to go through them and see how Kennesaw State with KRONOVI looks. And this isn't a full Kennesaw State lineup. They are still making their debut actually tonight on Monday Night Lights, which is my show match series. So twitch.tv/Mr. Bepic, if you want to watch that. They are playing at 10 p.m. Eastern Time against St. Edward's, which is Nolly's new school. But let's jump into it. This is a new style of video that I am keen to try out because I have long wanted, and this is KRONOVI's perspective, by the way, I have long wanted to make consistent content with Collegiate Rocket League. I've done fairly well. I think I've got my show matches and my podcast in a pretty good spot when it comes to upload consistency, but I've never had something that has been fully consistent that I can rely on throughout the year. And I think commentary videos are pretty low effort. I struggle to put a lot of effort into editing, and so for this style of video, I think it could work. So we're starting it off. We'll see where it goes. We'll see who watches, but I figured this is a good like morning coffee sort of recording. So I've set up this nice little OBS scene with Borrow, the overlay tool. Shout out to Lander. I still don't know how you say it, but dude's awesome, very talented, and he has given me an overlay for this little commentary video. But a minute in, it's kind of back and forth, and like I said, this isn't the official starting lineup of Kennesaw State. They're playing with Dylan, which Flitz is no stranger to playing with Dylan. They played plenty together this past season, even though the Kennesaw State starting lineup was Flitz, TNT, and then Parr and Curry throughout the year. And so Dylan's the fourth man up with his starting lineup. He's on the technical B team now that Kennesaw State is varsity officially or unofficially. I actually don't know exactly how it works. I know they're in the process of getting scholarships for the boys, and that was part of how they were able to get KRONOVI to come play for them. But I mean, so far, actually pretty standard. Huntington's holding some decent pressure. I don't think Kennesaw State are fully locked in for this. We've seen a couple of ambitious double commit plays looking for team pinches or something a bit stylish, and that is typical, as this is a Peach Belt Conference matchup, and the Peach Belt Conference is a traditional sports athletics conference that has an esports branch as well. And like I said, Huntington is a D3 school, and so they entered on the esports side of things. But Kennesaw is in the Peach Belt Conference traditionally. So they are battling it out in league play right now, and top 8 make it to your fall LAN. What? That probably should have been a goal. Hold on a second. Huntington still putting decent pressure on, and KRONOVI and Dylan get kind of tangled up right here in the corner. That's real awkward. I feel bad for Seabiscuit there, not actually scoring, and then who was this? Stinky Bus? I wasn't able to 50 it in. But okay, I digress. That was a weird play out in front, and that's to be expected. Kennesaw are the best team in this league, and it's not particularly close. Lander was the second best school in the Peach Belt Conference the past fall. It's just a fall league for Rocket League, and so it was Kennesaw State and Lander as the top 2 teams at LAN. But Huntington made a run to top 4. I was coaching my boys then. That's where my legendary fist pump video comes from that I use as my my GIF on Twitch for follows and subscriptions and all that. Love that clip. Love that LAN. And there we go. Finally, Kennesaw State are able to break through, and I think Barl keeps getting rid of my little overlay, so you're gonna hear me spamming through the H key until I figure out a way around it. And there it goes again. Fair enough. We'll just watch KRONOVI right here as he sets up Flitz in the corner, and yeah, Flitz just beats everybody and sets up Dylan, and that is a pretty standard Kennesaw State play. But Huntington's playing them pretty close, and this is a Huntington team. Oh my God, it won't let me get that bar back at all. I'll have to sort that out. But this is a fresh Huntington lineup. Seabiscuit's the only returning player. Silas and Stinky Bus are both freshmen, and so I don't know what the ceiling of this team looks like quite yet. But they played a pretty close series against Kennesaw here. It was mostly 1-goal games, even though it was a 3-0 sweep. And this Huntington team doesn't have a ton of reps. And yeah, it's Kennesaw with Dylan. Still kind of integrating KRONOVI into the lineup. But still, not a bad showing for Huntington. Man, these goals are whack, though. Like, okay, Silas connects with Flitz here. Okay, maybe less whack than I was originally thinking. And Dylan was not ready for that. So you can see this definitely isn't the Kennesaw State lineup that I anticipate being a top 25 team in CRL this season. Dylan's a good fill. He's got decent chemistry, but he's definitely not at the same level as Crow, TNT, and Flitz. But he's a good sub. Like, for all intents and purposes, he is good at filling in for the starting lineup. But that's what you want in your starting lineup there. Flitz dominating the Huntington defense, and I think Huntington gets another goal here, so we'll watch that, and then we'll see how they close out, as this is game 1 of a best of 5. Like I said, the top 8 in the Peach Belt Conference make it to LAN, so you're pretty much a lock. If you can get a win against a couple of the good teams, you could probably close your eyes and play some series, and maybe still win if you're Kennesaw State. There are some low MMR teams in the Peach Belt Conference towards the bottom. Decent at the top, though. It's just a whiff. Okay. Well, we'll skip ahead to the end, see how it closes out. As it looks like Kennesaw State will mostly have pressure here. Huntington's kind of tripping over themselves. Oh, there's KRONOVI giving Dylan a kiss, and that's what I expect from Kennesaw with this sort of lineup. Just awkward moments like that, but they get wins. They have enough offensive ability together to, I mean, just dominate possession in the final 30 seconds of a 1-goal game. It's not even particularly close. So let's move to game 2 here. As you can see, it was a 5-4, another 1-goal game, and I wish Barrow would stop taking my little bar away. I want to see what's going on here. But okay, Huntington gets the first goal. It's a nice passing play. A little slow off kickoff, but you can see what they're going for. And I do expect this to be a matchup you can see on LAN later on. And the LAN was, let's see, it was in Florence, South Carolina in November, early November this past year. And hey, nice little play there. Beating KSU out in front. But this is how Kennesaw State got their bid to CECC, and it's how they should get their bid again this coming year. And that's why they're playing in it. That's why Flitz and KRONOVI are playing it. There isn't money on the line. It's just a traditional athletic conference that has esports for the sake of playing it, which is kind of what collegiate esports should be in the future. But that's chaos again. Just great aerial play. Kennesaw State beating Huntington over the top. And so you'll see Kennesaw play these Peach Belt games. Most of them aren't streamed until LAN, and they're not always completely focused, and they don't really have to be, because they are the best team in the conference, and they're playing it for the CECC bid. And as well, to get respect from their school administration. That's another reason they play it, which kind of contributed to their getting support from the higher-ups at Kennesaw State, as a lot of school admins, they see you win CRL, and they don't care. It's like, what is CRL? Who is Northwood? But if you are able to win a traditional athletics conference against schools that the administration is familiar with, then they actually notice. They take notice. And I always call back to a story that I gained when I was at Huntington, where we were playing in the SEL. Oh, man. Wow. Okay, Flitz. That's... Let me get my little bar back. He's up with KRONOVI, who probably attempted a similar thing. Going for the Psycho. But it's Flitz that connects with it. And then they get a kickoff goal as well to make it 4-1. That's Flitz for you. But a story that I gained when I was at Huntington, where we were playing in the SEL, and we got some decent wins there. But throughout the majority of my career at Huntington as a coach, we would beat teams that it was fairly impressive to beat. And the most recognition I got for my wins, the athletic director saw me and director Ryan walking around, and he turned to me and was like, "Congratulations on your win against Arkansas." And for those that follow CRL, Arkansas is not a great team. Probably the best team in Arkansas, but that's not really saying much. And that was what he congratulated me for. I didn't get congratulations for beating Florida Southern or Montevallo, but Arkansas, he did shout me out for him. So that's what administrators see that have a traditional sports background, is they see you beating big D1 schools or schools in your athletics conference, and that's what they take notice of. And that's the game you have to play in collegiate esports right now if you want support from an administration that traditionally isn't inherent to esports or familiar with the benefits of esports. But a couple of kind of one-off goals where Huntington are getting... Oh, that should have been an equalizer. Man, I don't want to watch it too much, but... Okay, he did have to beat Flitz. Ooh, no, he didn't. Okay, that should have been an equalizer. Huntington actually could have had this game even. But I don't even know where I was going. Product of not really doing commentary videos like this. I do commentary all the time, but when in doubt, I can always just go back to the gameplay. So I'll do it here. Good play by Kennesaw State. Pass out in front, and the shooting is consistent, which unfortunately the Hawks of Huntington did not have right there. And this was a 4-1 game Huntington could have brought back. And the two goals they scored at the start were kind of one-off plays, like a dunk at the midfield line that Kennesaw State wasn't ready for, and I forget the other one, but that's what you need. As an underdog, you need goals like that to get back into a series like this. But okay, I know this ends 5-4. Pretty nice control for Silas. He's going to be a good freshman. Great at creating space. Huntington got themselves a couple of good recruits. Stinky Bus, really solid overall. At least will be really solid overall. Moments like this, I can't imagine for all three of the Huntington guys how weird it must be to be playing against KRONOVI. Like, that's... Even if you don't really follow the RLCS, if you are a good Rocket League player that has any kind of background, knowledge about the RLCS, you probably know who KRONOVI is. And if you don't, your teammates will tell you. So there had to be some nerves for this. Like, one, it's the first match of conference play. Two, you're playing against KRONOVI, and even Flitz is a big name. Like, I remember when we were playing them last season, like, my guys were like, okay, that's Flitz. We're in the same lobby as Flitz. Because in CRL, and this is getting to be the case more and more, these players that are just ranked warriors that haven't competed in the RLCS or tournaments or competitions in general, they're all of a sudden in lobbies against guys like Speed, like KRONOVI now, like Garrett G as well, depending on where Winthrop ends up playing. So, and then Dylan as well, who hits shots like that. Oh man, okay, hold on. I got to get used to the spectating client again. Used to be real good at knowing how to maneuver this. But okay. We're gonna watch you, Dylan. This crazy double. Look at this. Bang! And that is the sort of on-ball ability that Dylan can whip out on you at any moment, any side of the field. he's a good player. He just needs more consistency at a high level. He gets in his own head as well sometimes too. They had a great result. It was Flitz, Dylan, and TNT at CECC this past year, and they beat Lubbock Christian, and they looked like, I forget who they were playing in round 1. It was like Cumberland or Northwood or a school like that, a top 8 roster in CRL. And they looked extremely good in the first 2 or 3 games. And then Dylan was playing out of his mind, like lights out Rocket League. He was filling in perfectly. He was shooting well, making good space. And then he makes 1 or 2 mistakes and starts getting in his own head. He starts hesitating. And that's the difference between him playing at the level he plays at right now and him actually being a really good CRL support player with guys like Flitz, TNT, and KRONOVI he's playing with. That's my take on Dylan. Almost had that one. But for the most part, solid as he runs into KRONOVI. But I mean, this is a closeout game for Kennesaw State, and you can see the difference. You can see the sorts of situations that they are able to get themselves out of that Huntington just aren't. And so kickoff goal perhaps. Okay, Seabiscuit. This is my guy right here. I only attended 1 signing day as a Rocket League collegiate Rocket League coach, and it was Seth's right there. So I am partial to the Seabiscuit. Glad to see him scoring that equalizer, kickoff goal or not. And I hate to say it because I want Huntington to look really good, but a lot of their goals in this series are off the back of plays where Kennesaw State aren't completely set in defense. Like a kickoff goal or a weird midfield 50-50 that just ends up on target. And it's not really established pressure that's getting them goals, which as an underdog sometimes you do have to rely on those quick counterattack plays, those kickoff goals to get you scores. But I mean, there's another one, like the ball just leaks out and Silas is just ready to put it on target where no one from Kennesaw State is back. And I do wonder if TNT was in the lineup, if they would be a bit more, okay, what on earth, if they would be a bit more prepared for plays like that. Let's go back to watching KRONOVI, because that is why I started making this video in the first place. I want to do more like this. Oh, triple commit. Holy. But this is why I wanted to do this specific series, because KRONOVI being in CRL is going to be so good for eyes on the space. And Garrett G as well, and there are a swath of players and pros that you could say that about. But man, it feels good to be able to clickbait a YouTube title like, oh, KRONOVI makes his Collegiate Rocket League debut against a school you've never heard of. And I feel bad because I've never actually interacted with the guy, but I'm using him as clickbait. But I'm excited to get to meet him, and a lot of the new CRL guys at LANs, like the Scenic City Invitational. Pretty sure Kennesaw State will be there. It's not a long drive from Kennesaw to Chattanooga. As that's a big opening season LAN. I think Huntington will be there as well, actually. So we could actually see this match again on LAN. Super stoked about it. I like how spread out we are getting Collegiate Rocket League LANs throughout the season. I think spring will still be pretty heavy when it comes to an overall LAN schedule, but we are getting some big fall LANs. Scenic City Invitational, the DreamHack Invitational, the Bluegrass Boost Battle. May or may not be in the fall semester, but we are going to be treated to some high-level CRL play at LANs. And that's really good for the space. That's what RLCS doesn't have, honestly. We don't get high-level LANs outside of the 2 majors and Worlds, and EWC if you watch that. But for throughout the season, and just in the fall semester in CRL, you are getting European pros, North American pros, and depending on where Royales goes, South American pros as well, playing on LAN for their CRL teams. So that's one reason why I think CRL will be bigger than the RLCS pretty shortly. Maybe not bigger than the RLCS, but it'll be up there with the RLCS. I don't want to go too crazy. But KRONOVI, I mean, he hasn't been lights out spectacular. Flitz is still the guy on Kennesaw State. And I think that'll be the case. It's a good shot. But I mean, KRONOVI, I'm pretty sure is just like a 2K, 2.1K player right now. Like, he's no longer at the top of the RLCS world, obviously. He's been retired for a little while, but he's still got skills. And at the CRL level, that should be enough to make Kennesaw State a top 20 team. I think they have that sort of ceiling. And they're clutch on land, too. Like, I do wonder if KRONOVI will have any sort of land nerves. Because Flitz, I know, I'm sure doesn't get nervous anymore. He's played so many lands. TNT the same. But KRONOVI, actually, I don't know if he's played many lands recently. So, that'll be an interesting question when I do actually get to interact with the guy in person. One of the bad or worst habits I have is making coffee and then starting to do commentary. I just can't stop talking. My coffee's cold now. I hate cold coffee. Okay. I'll take it all back, KRONOVI. Yeah, you can tell it's a Peach Belt game for Kennesaw. Let's doing stuff like that. But 4-2. It's over. Kennesaw State beat Huntington. And KRONOVI is undefeated in CRL. How about that? He's back. KRONOVI is in CRL. It's insane. Insane to say. Alright, more commentary videos will come at some point. I don't know what I'm trying to do with this, but I enjoyed talking for 20 minutes. Wow, it's a longish video. But smash a like or a subscribe on YouTube. Whoa, you can tell I'm not used to saying that. Follow me on Twitch as well. We got Monday Night Lights, Tuesday Night Lights coming up tonight and tomorrow night. Kennesaw is playing tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time against St. Edwards. Should be good. Yeah, I'm just gonna end the video.